Welcome back to my workshop. Now today I've got a quick job to do in the garden, which I will make obviously longer because I'm making a YouTube video. Let me show you what that job is. I've got to paint these fence panels. So normally to do that job, I'd take my fence paint and I'd take a brush and I'd paint them. But I thought this time what I would do is I'll try and use a spray gun. Okay, not your conventional spray gun that you use for painting cars, but an airless sprayer, which I've just bought from B&Q, which is one of these. Okay, this is the Wagner W575 Flexio. Okay, so let's get this out of the box and see what we get for our money. Okay, so this is the Wagner W575 Flexio, or Wagner. I don't know how to say it properly. We'll go with Wagner. Okay, now this is a paint spraying system. Let's open the box and see what we get. This was £129 from B&Q, and it's now June 2022. Looks like you can get instructions, lots of words. Right, so I've got everything out of the box here. This seems to be a hell of a lot of paperwork. I've had a quick look through this to save you the trouble, but let's look at what we get first. Now you get 2 spray nozzles and you get the actual motor itself. Now this feels quite weighty, but I should imagine once you've got these attached, it will be fairly balanced, but we shall see. I've obviously bought the one with the standard UK plug. Okay, don't need that one anymore. Let's have a look. We've got not much lead by the looks of it. Yeah, not much lead. So I should imagine we're going to have to use an extension lead when we're using this. We'll go over the controls in a moment. Now the 2 spray nozzles. It doesn't show you very quickly which one's which. Okay, so just for clarity, this one, the smaller one with the knurly nut, is for fence paint and that sort of thing. This one with the fancy schmancy attachment on the front, this is more for emulsion paints, for interior walls, etc. Okay, so basically I'm going to be using this one to do our fence. But let's have a look and see how this thing goes together. Right, so we have our motor body here, and we also have, we'll use this one. This is the one I'm going to use for the fence. Now it looks like it's just a bayonet fit in here, okay, and it's the same on this one. Now to fit it together, you literally put it together like that and it clicks into place. Then it's held in place by this little tab here, okay, so it doesn't undo. To release it, push it down with your thumb, turn it, and it comes off. Okay, that feels really good. Let's try it again with this one. Same again, nice positive click, and it's solid. Okay, to release, turn, twist. Okay, so changing between one and another seems fairly easy. Right, so let's put this one back on. What do we got here? Okay, so we've obviously got a trigger here, and it looks like you've got a knurly nut, okay, which obviously extends and it restricts how far back it can go. Okay, so on here you can see there's your volume of paint you're going to be spraying. Okay, so this is the simple one, and it actually shows you on the front this is for fences. Looks like a railway line, but that's actually fences. Okay, on the front here you have your twisty nozzle for whether you're doing vertically or horizontal spraying. Okay, what else have we got here? That looks like a basic on-off switch. Okay, I won't try that yet until I plugged it in. And this 1 and 2, I believe, is how fast the motor is going to go. Let me just check. Okay, I've just plugged it in to confirm to see what this does. Now, obviously what you do is you turn it on. This is on 1 at the moment. Turn this on to 2. Okay, and it goes up to the 2nd level. Okay, the switches are in a nice convenient place. This one obviously you're only going to do every now and again. On and off is easy to do. Okay, when you turn it on, it obviously sprays out air, but it doesn't spray out paint until you pull the trigger. Okay, so that all seems fairly straightforward. Let's remove this one and have a look at this one. Now this looks a little bit more complicated, but I think the basics are the same. Okay, here the trigger is controlled by these settings around here. That controls the amount of flow, okay, by literally restricting how far you pull back the trigger. Okay, so obviously the higher the number, the further you can pull the trigger back. Okay, so the flow rate is a mechanical control. On the front here, looks like we have a narrow spray pattern or a wide spray pattern. Okay, so narrow, wide, we'll have a look at that if we spray this. Okay, and again, the spray direction, whether you're doing horizontal or vertical, is controlled by rotating the front. Okay, yeah, that all looks fairly straightforward. Nice. Right, before we start putting any paint in this, let's have a look at some of the accessories you get with it. Right, one of the things you actually get in the pack is you get this, which is a Wagner test poster. Okay, it sounds a bit silly, but I think I will actually use it. And all it is so you can have a practice. Okay, and it shows you the different nozzles. Okay, so you've got the one for walls and ceilings, and then you've got the one for fences. And this is showing you a wide pattern. And you basically hang this up and spray on it, which may sound a bit silly, but I will give it a go. Okay, also what you get is this little fella. Okay, now this is to help you maintain the spray gun, and it's also to help you dilute your mixture correctly. Okay, and the way you do that is on here, if we get in focus, on here you've got little marks. Okay, so what you do is you fill the paint up to, say, this point here. Okay, and then you can top up to this point here with water or whatever your dilutant is, and that will give you a 10%. Now obviously this is critical that you get this in the pot straight, which they've actually thought about, because let's get rid of that. Because on here you've got this little thing here which pokes out the side. When you put it in the pot, you literally hook that on the side. Okay, so it touches the bottom. So it's touching the bottom, and this then stays vertical. Because obviously if it's not vertical, your measurements are going to be incorrect. So nice little touch, then you can do it without actually holding this. Also, this little part on the end here is allegedly for opening cans of paint. I don't know whether that would be sufficient, but if you've got to get some paint out of a tin, it's worth a go. This little spike here is for cleaning out nozzles, okay, like this, okay, which you have to do regularly to make sure it doesn't start going all splattery. Each one of these, let's check the other one's the same. Yeah, this is the same. Obviously you can see this one is bigger, obviously for higher volumes of paint, but they're angled. So the reason these are angled, they turn around like this. So when you've got it in your pot, if you're going to be spraying pointing down, then you obviously have this pointing down, and then it picks up all the paint. If you're spraying like this, then obviously you face it backwards so it can pick up the paint that way. That's why that's a funny shape. It's not broken. Okay, so yeah, these seem to have thought about actually spraying. Right, what else do you get here? It looks like you get a little bag with some, what's in here? lubricating grease, okay, and also you get a new seal. Okay, I think the lubricating grease is obviously when you wash it, you may wash away some of the lubricant on this seal, so you can put some of this on the seal so it continues to latch nicely. All right, that's all little bits and pieces. I think what I'll do now is I'll put some paint in these and do my little test spray. Right, so now I've got my paint in here. I haven't diluted it yet. I'm going to see how it goes before I start diluting it. So this is straight out of tin. Now what I'm going to do is just basically try some settings, run through what they've got on here and see what happens. Let's give it a go. Right. I've set it to horizontal, okay, which should give me the vertical pattern. So this goes in the direction you're traveling. Okay, set this on minimum, turn it on. Right, well, that was straight out of tin. I've literally, because it's the fence one, there's not that many adjustments on it. I've just set it to horizontal. I've pulled the trigger and it's sprayed. Now, it seems to cover really well. So I think I'm basically ready to go out and do the fence. But what I will have to do is I'll have to go and mask up some areas on the fence, and I'll have to be careful because as I'm spraying the fence, I don't want any overspray going into next door's garden. All right, so I'm going to quickly mask up some posts and then start spraying some stuff on a fence panel. It's really good. Right, typical English summertime. I've just about to spray outside and it's sunny, but the wind's got up, so masking was a bit of a pain. But let's give this a quick go and see what happens. Right, so those panels now have had 3 coats each. I've now got to clean up, everyone's favourite part. There seems to be a bit of overspray over everything, but what do you expect? It's a spray gun. Okay, apparently because I'm using a water-based paint or fence panel paint, I should be able to clean this in just warm water. Okay, so let's give that a go. Right, so I'm now giving these a quick wash out with hot water, just using a normal paintbrush. Don't use anything metallic like a wire brush or anything because it's not good. To reassemble, all you do is literally, nozzle goes on, then that part goes on, then that part goes on. Okay, what I'm going to do now is fill this up with just very clean water and spray it through here just to clean the nozzles out from the inside. Right, a little tip for you if you're masking up. Obviously I use masking tape. Masking tape is no good on concrete posts, okay? I end up using this black duct tape. And also don't bother trying to wear these gloves when you're masking because they stick to everything. All right, so don't do that. Right, let's finish masking off. Right, well, so that's about it. Obviously the fence panels now look really nice. I've given them 3 coats in a fraction of the time it would have taken me to do it with a brush. A couple of downsides, it does get a little bit heavy, but you've got to remember you've got nearly a litre of paint here and you've got a motor, okay? So the short period of time it takes is probably less wearing than spending hours with a paintbrush. Okay, so just bear that in mind. Don't start complaining because it's heavy. Effectively covering with paint, excellent. I mean, this, I only used it for fence panels. It delivers quite a lot of paint very quickly and very evenly. I would highly recommend having a read through the instructions before you sort of fill it up and then go, oh, this is rubbish. But it's worth reading the instructions. It will give you some insight. I mean, obviously this video isn't designed to show you how to spray. I just wanted to see whether this could spray. So that's a quick look over with the fence panel spraying. Obviously this I haven't used yet for emulsion or wall spraying. I will get to that eventually. But overall, this does what it says. It's a universal sprayer. This was the W575 Flexio by Wagner. Or Wagner. Okay, right. Thank you very much for watching. I hope this was of some use and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Right, let's finish masking off.